welcome to the Super Fun Awesome Happy Time pedal show. My name is Gabor and today I'm looking at the all-new 3.1 firmware update for the whole Helix HX family. So, or I guess the Helix Floor, Helix Rack, LT, Native, HX Stomp and HX Stomp XL. So I've got my HX Stomp here, I just updated it and I thought I'd invite you guys along to check out the new things. Now, before I even start, I should mention, I'm in no way, shape or form sponsored by Line 6 or Yamaha or anything like that. This is I bought this thing when it first came out. I used it a lot, basically use it as an amp in a box for a lot of gigs where I can't use amps. So this has sort of become my thing on a pedal board that I use as an amp, basically. So, what's new in the new firmware update? One of the new things is a new orange style amp, which is the Mandarin Rocker, based on an orange Rocker Verb 100 Mark III. They slightly altered the model, so it's the taper of the drive knob. Then, new effects. They've got a new rat style distortion called Ratatouille. So, turns out our Vermin distortion model was broken. Sorry. We're going to replace it, but a bunch of people had presets with the old version, and on top of that we found out that our Rat's LM308 chip had crapped out since we modeled it last, so we decided to get it into perfect working order and start from scratch. So the whole new Rat model. Then they also have this thing called a retro reel, which is like a tape emulation thing. So you got wound, flutter and saturation and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. I like that sort of stuff usually. Then there's also a Euclidean delay. Now, guitar players may or may not, have heard about Euclidean stuff, but a lot of drum machines, for example, have Euclidean sequences. And what it is, it's basically, they put a picture of it here. So you've got like a set time frame, and then you divide that into, in this case, for example, 8 even spots, but then only 3 of those 8 spots are actually active. The others, it just kind of passes by. Or you can have 5 steps active, or 7 out of 12, or 9 out of 12. And what it does is it gives you kind of like a step sort of pattern. The other thing then you can also do is you can rotate that. So what was the first step now becomes the second step. What was the second step becomes the third step, and so on and so on. So the whole pattern shifts by 1 step. It's quite a cool thing, and it'd be interesting actually to check it out. So next, there is a new reverb called a dynamic hall reverb, which looks like it's quite a massive reverb. It goes from 0.1 seconds to 45 seconds or infinity. You have also 3 different room sizes, and a motion thing that selects the amount of randomization. So it's kind of like a modulation thing, I guess. And then last, you've got the Hot Springs, which is a spring reverb. And I'm sure my friend Ryan from 60 Cycle Arm will do a full video of that. So if you want to watch a video of someone who knows what drip actually is all about, watch his video, because it has a drip setting. So that's what's new. So I think let's have a look at HX Edit. So I just updated the firmware in HX Edit. It was pretty simple, pretty quick and straightforward. And I thought I'll use HX Edit for this because it's easier to see than the little screen on here, and you've got to go through all these menus, so I just do it on there. So the guitar I'm going to be using for today is this Sire S7 FM. So Larry Carlton series by Sire. The lovely people from Sire sent this to me. There's an unboxing video of all the guitars we got here. So this is, I guess, sponsored in one way or another by Sire. It goes from this Sire guitar directly into the HX Stomp, and then out of the HX Stomp in stereo into my Audient ID44 interface. Actually, it goes into my patch bay, so via the patch bay into the Audient ID44 interface. And I think if you want to see a video, I think I will do one anyway because a few people have asked, but if you want to see a video on the patch bay and how I've got everything hooked up, let me know in the comments below. From the Audient ID44 interface, it goes into Logic, and so that just bypassed kind of signal, direct dry signal into the computer sounds like this. So very meh. So let's add an amp. So let's put it somewhere in the middle here. And let's use the amp and cab. So whatever they use, I'm sure there's a orange cab in there. Orange cab in there. Whatever they matched it up with. So where is it? Mandarin Rocker. And it sounds on the humbucker like this. sounds cool. Let's give it more gain. I think he kind of wakes up with more gain. Now, I find a lot of times with higher gain amps, the sag control needs to go right down. Kind of makes the palm muting thing a bit better. It's got a lot of gain, but good note definition, so let's crank the gain. Maybe a bit less bass. Sounds pretty cool. Let's see how low gain we can go. That sounds cool if you bring the master up. Again, also, a lot of times I find master volume versus channel volume. Master volume gives that sort of output tube saturation, like power tube saturation, and it fattens up the sound often, I find, in these things, whereas channel volume is just pure volume. Bit more gain, maybe. Less treble, maybe a bit more mids, maybe a little bit more gain still. That's fairly sort of a cleanish, that's sort of slightly broken up sound. Now let's use that. And let's add the Ratatouille, is that what it's called? Where is it? There it is. The new version of their rat. So let's go humbucker for that. Very fuzzy. It's almost like, you want to do that. Very fuzzy. Let's turn it down a bit. I mean, I wonder if it's the best match with with the orange. Both very mid-forward. I mean, rats are quite mid-forward and orange amps are quite mid-forward. So, yeah, it sounds interesting. Okay, let's go, I don't know, sort of halfway. Let's actually very quickly compare it to the other one. Where is it? Vermin. Just very, very quickly. It's like a cocked wah sound. Okay, let's go to the signal setting. What is it? 6. Let's say 7, 5, 8. Just roughly. I know it's not the kind of thing you meant to do, but 7, 4 point something, and 8. Roughly the same setting. Has less of a cocked wah sound to it. Now, if you want me to do a full comparison between the old Vermin and the new Ratatouille, or actually if you even want me to do a comparison with those two with an actual Rat, I've got an old woodcutter Rat, like I guess 90s, this is an 84 Rat, but 90s Rat, let me know in the comments below and I'll do a comparison video of that. Okay, let's move along. So that was the Rat. Let's now go to that modulation thing that was called, what was it called? Retro Reel. Was it? Is that what it was? That's what it was, wasn't it? Retro Reel, yes, that's what it was. Okay, and that sounds like this. Very subtle modulation, that sounds cool. Okay, let's bring the modulation up a bit. That's cool. That's like it's like a vibrato, but more like broken vibrato. That sounds cool. Okay, and then you've got the different tape speed. So it's on 15 IPS. Is that inches per second? Is that what that stands for? IPS? So I guess it goes faster, sort of wobbly faster. Yeah, so I guess it's inches per second. So if you want it more subtle, go to, lower. If you want it more in your face, go higher. I think it sounded quite nice and it's sort of in the middle there somewhere, sort of subtle. Because it's mono, isn't it? But it almost gives a stereo spread. Yeah, it's mono. But it sounds almost like a, the dimension thing. Where is it? Can you see it down the bottom? You know, the Boss dimension. There, is it there? Can you see it? The DC2W. It kind of gives that kind of vibe, like it sort of widens the sound. Versus. Kind of makes things a bit bigger. Okay, let's check out the saturation. I like tape saturation often. That sounds cool. Hang on, let's turn that off. Let's just try and hear the saturation. Sounds pretty cool. Let's give it more gain. I like that a lot. Full. I like that a lot. So it's not like a lead thing. I don't think it is anyway, but it's a really cool, different sounding drive to me. I like that a lot actually. I'm going to do a full video just on that at some stage. And then you can do like a high cut. Almost like a lo-fi kind of vibe. But that's cool. I like that. I gotta say, I like that a lot. Well, what does texture do? Is that like a compression thing? What does it do? Hang on. Texture adjusts the amount of NAB tape, EQ. I don't know what NAB means. We've got a bank in Australia here called the National Australia Bank, which is called NAB. It adjusts the amount of NAB tape EQ in the simulated tape path. When saturation is set to 0, the texture is invisible. When saturation is turned up, the texture will affect the tightness or looseness. Yeah, so it is kind of like a maybe adds compression or rolls off bottom end. To me, it sounds more compressed up and it sounds more open. I like it better lower, I gotta say. That, to me, that's great. And then a little bit of that, not too much. That a lot. What that would need now maybe is a little bit of reverb. Oh yeah. Let's go and check out the hall reverb. Dynamic hall. That's it, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that's it. Dynamic hall. And it sounds like this. That's lovely, lovely, lovely. Maybe let's turn it off. That's a lovely big reverb, and we're going to right down the bottom at 4 seconds. So it goes from 0.1 seconds to 1 second to 45 seconds. That's massive. That's beautiful. And it's not taken away from anything. It sits nicely in the mix in the back. So the mix is about maybe a little below halfway. There's a bit of pre-delay, 50 milliseconds of pre-delay. You've got diffusion and damping, which is just, you know, quite common. But what's the one? Motion. That's lovely. Modulation is, oh, that's low gain, low frequencies, high cut. Where was it again? Motion. Nice modulation. It's just a massive reverb that sits lovely in the background. You know, send up a little bit with a little bit of modulation. And actually, let's add a little bit of this to it, but less saturation. That's lovely. I could sit there for hours doing that. Okay, but this is just a quick first impression. So let's look at the hot springs. Let's turn that off. Does it drip enough though? So you've got the dwell control. What does that do? I guess more. Something like that. Ryan can do a better job at it than me. Dwell. All the way down. Yeah, so it's how much, so up is probably better. Spring count. One spring, and then you can have 1.4 springs. And then you can have up to 3 springs. So maybe less dwell with the 3 springs. Yeah, I'm not good at that sort of stuff. And then you've got, yeah, so high gain, low drip. Low drip. So that plank, is that what they call it? They call it plank here, don't they? Drip, adjust the intensity of the spring reverb or how much ploink you might hear. So it depends if you want more ploink. That's less ploink. That's a little more ploink. It's that sound after. And high ploink. I actually probably like the one spring best. One spring, higher dwell. Something like that. It's been a while since I played that song. And that's it, isn't it? There was nothing else. There's a hot springs, a dynamic. Oh, the delay. Haven't even looked at the delay yet. So let's add it here. Let's go to the delay. Euclidean delay. Here it is. Ooh. Okay. Dun. Okay, so we've got the step time. So this is just my first thoughts on this. You've got the step time. So you've got 136 milliseconds. That is now divided into 8 steps. So you've got 136 milliseconds divided into 8 steps. And 3 of those steps are active. Maybe. 136 is fairly short, isn't it? Or maybe that's the gap between the steps. Maybe that's actually what it is. Oh, yeah, step time. So it's 136 milliseconds between each step. You've got 8 steps and 3 are active. Now, okay, let's try this out. So if we go steps, and there's feedback is on 0, so it's only 1 repeat. If we go to 1 step, there should just be 1 repeat, which is 136 milliseconds. Now, if you go to 2 steps, you should have 2 repeats, and they're both active. So you hear 3 because the first one is me strumming, so it's strum, repeat, repeat. Then with 3, now you've got 3 steps with 3 active, so you should hear all 3 again. Now, if I go to 4 steps, but only 3 are active, there'll be 1 gap. So the second one is a gap, so it's active, inactive, active, active. Oh no, the first one isn't active because it's that 1, 2, 3, yeah. So the first one is inactive. Now if I go to 5 steps, 2 of them are inactive. So it goes up to 16 steps. Now only 3 out of the 16 are active. That's it, yeah. So it's a way of creating a pattern reverb. Delay. That's that. And then I guess if you turn the feedback up, you get repeat on those. Yeah, and it sort of dampens down. Oh, and then the other thing is, so now if you have, so for example now we have, let's do it like this. We've got 4 steps and 3 are active. So the first step, so I've got my strum and then a gap and then the 3 steps. Now if I rotate this, the blank step is now the second thing. So you've got the strum, repeat, gap, and then 2. If I rotate that again, now it should be 2 actives, then a blank, and then an active. Now if I rotate it again, the blank should be at the end, so it should be 3 and then a blank. So if I rotate it again, it kind of starts from the beginning again. Does it? No, then it just stays like that. So, okay. But that's what the rotate does. And then you've got a mix, low cut, high cut, level, and trails on and off. I mean, this is meant to be just a quick first look at all this stuff. So this was a quick first look at all this stuff. Let me know if there's any of these ones that you want me to do a full video on. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a full video on this retro reel because I really dig it. But like I said before, if you want me to do a video on the two different rats, comparing the two different rats, or maybe comparing them to an actual rat as well, let me know in the comments below. Or any other of the algorithms on here, let me know if you want me to do a full video on them in the comments below. And please make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up. Thumbs ups, likes, comments, all that sort of stuff adds to the YouTube algorithms. So more people get to see these videos. The more people get to see these videos, the more access we have to things. The more access we have to things, the more videos we can make. So if you like what we do, please make sure to be active, comment, hit the thumbs up, even share the video with people. That always helps us out. So thank you so much. Also make sure to hit the notification bell when you're subscribing so you know when the next video is out. Yes, thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye.